Hello student, today we are going to start a new chapter non-finite verb. Before starting the non-finite verb, first we will see kinds of verb. We have two types of verb, finite verb and non-finite verb. Now we divide non-finite verbs into three parts, infinitive, gerund and participle. And participles are further divided into three parts, present participle, past participle and perfect participle. First, non-finite verbs. A verb which is limited by the number or the person of its subject and also on the tense of the subject is called finite verb. The form of the verb depends on its subject and tense. For example, they play football. In this sentence, verb is play. Our subject is plural, so we use play. If we change the subject, our verb also changes. For example, he plays football. Now in this sentence, subject is singular, so we use plays. Look at the second example. You are playing. In this sentence, our subject is you, so we use are. Look at the next sentence. She was playing. In this sentence, our subject is singular, but our tense is changed, so our verb is also changed, was playing. So the verb which change with the subject or the tense is called finite verbs. Next are non-finite verbs. Non-finite verbs do not change their form even when the person or the number of the subject changes, nor on the tense of the sentence. Look at some examples. They want to eat something delicious. She wants to eat something delicious. He wants to play football. They want to play football. They want to eat eggs for breakfast. In these sentences, there are two verbs. First, want, second, to eat. Look at the examples. In these sentences, to eat is same in all the sentences. We have changed the subject and we have also changed the tense. Want is changed according to the subject. For example, in first sentence, they is subject, we use want, and in second sentence, she is subject, so we use wants. But to eat is same in all sentence. So the verb which do not change according to the subject or tense of the sentence is called non-finite verbs. And after that, there are three kinds of non-finite verb. First, infinitive, which we use in all these sentences. Infinitive, we use to before the first form of verb, and infinitive used as a noun. Second, gerund, and third, participle. We also divide participle into three parts: present participle, past participle, and perfect participle. Infinitive, to plus first form of the verb. Now, use of infinitives. The infinitive may be used as the subject of a verb. For example, to drive fast on a crowded road is dangerous. In this sentence, to drive is subject. Infinitive used as a noun, so we can use them same as the subject of the sentence. Be as the object of a verb, and use infinitive as the object of a verb. For example, birds love to sing. Now object to sing, and this is an infinitive. As an adjective, as noun plus infinitive. Afternoon is not the time to play. Which time? To play. So in this sentence, infinitive is used as an adjective as the complement of a verb. We can also use infinitive as the complement of a verb. Example, Rita's greatest desire is to sing. He seems to be stupid. In this In these sentences, infinitive is the complement of the verb. You can also use infinitive as an adverb. Example, verb plus infinitive or adjective plus infinitive. We eat to live. I come to bury Caesar. Or before adjective, French is easy to learn. I am glad to hear from you. In these sentences, we eat. Why we eat? To live. To live is infinitive. Adverb plus infinitive. Rohit worked very hard. Now in this sentence, very hard is adverb. To come first is infinitive. Reena came here to study. Here is an adverb and to study is infinitive. Can also use infinitive as the object of a preposition. For example, the woman was about to die. Or in passive form, Porus wanted to be treated as a king. Infinitives without to. There are some verbs where we use infinitive without to, like bid, let, make, need, see, watch, hear, behold, know, and dare. These are some verbs where we use bare infinitive, that is called bare infinitive. For example, the principal bade me go, not to go, because there is the verb bade. To is used after dare when it means to challenge. If we are using in the sense of challenge, then we use to after dare. For example, he dared to disobey me. Second, the to is also left out after had better, had rather, would rather, sooner than, and rather than. For example, she had better not speak on this subject. Or to is also left out in certain elliptical expressions as she did nothing but laugh, Rita said nothing but scream and cry. More infinitive patterns are to plus infinitive. To with infinitive is used to combine a pair of sentences. For example, it was very cold, no one could work. We can combine these two sentences with to plus infinitive. Like, it was too cold to work. Second, the bag is very heavy. I can't lift it. The bag is too heavy for me to lift. Second, enough plus infinitive. Enough with infinitive is also used to combine a pair of sentences as the pipe is very long, it can reach the roof. Pipe is long enough to reach the roof. Remember one thing, if we are using 2 plus 2, then one sentence is negative, and if we are using enough plus infinitive, then both the sentences are positive. Infinitive is also used to avoid repetition. This is mainly done after such verbs as want, wish, like, hate, hope, etc. We also use after auxiliary verb like have, ought, need, as well as such expressions are used to be able and the going to form. For example, do you like to come with me? No, thank you. I don't want to. So we don't want to repeat the sentence, so we use infinitive to. If we are using infinitive after the word only, then it expresses disappointment. For example, he went to the hall only to find it empty. Gerund and participle we will cover in our next video. Next non-finite verb is gerunds. The gerund is the base form of the verb plus ing. It can be affirmative, going, or negative, not going. Gerund work as a noun, so we can use gerund as a subject of a sentence or as a object of a sentence. There are some rules. Now look at the rules. Rule number 1. We can use gerund as the subject of a sentence or object of a sentence. Example, cooking is one of my hobbies. In this sentence, cooking use as subject of the sentence. Getting a good job is not easy. Eating fruits and vegetables is good for your health. Getting and eating are also gerunds and used as a subject of the sentence. Second, we can also use gerund after some verbs. For example, I enjoy reading in bed. In this sentence, we use gerund after verb enjoy. In second sentence, doing, and in third sentence, talking are gerund, and we use these gerund after finished and spent. Third, we can also use gerund after preposition. For example, after having a shower, I waited for Stephen. In this sentence, we use having after preposition. After is a preposition. In second sentence, we use getting after before, and in third sentence we use working after by, and in these sentences after, before and by are preposition, so we can use gerund after preposition. Similarities between gerund and infinitive. Infinitive and gerunds both are used in the same sense, as they are formed from a verb and are used as nouns. We use gerund as a noun, and we also use infinitive as a noun. For example, sleeping is good for health, or we can say to sleep is good for health. Seeing is believing, or to see is to believe. Lying is a sin, or to lie is a sin. In this way, we can say that gerund and infinitives are interchange. We can use gerund or infinitive. But there are some verbs like finish, deny, detest, postpone, enjoy, forgive, etc. We use gerund only. Next, non-finite verbs are participles. There are three kinds of participle: present participle, past participle, and perfect participle. Present participle. We also form present participle by adding ing in the base form of our verb. For example, walk, walking, move, moving. Example, they are dancing together right now. In this sentence, we use dancing and it is a participle, and this is present participle, not gerund, because if we are using dancing, painting, or sleeping after ismr or was were, then it is present participle. Like John was painting the wall all morning, or I will be sleeping by the time you come back. We can use ing form with ismr, was were, or will be, shall be. Next is past participle. Past participle ends in d or ed in case of regular verb like walk, walked, or indifferently in case of irregular verb like drink, drank, drunk. Drunk is past participle. Examples: walked, helped, drunk, or taken. Past participle is used in perfect tenses. Participles are also used as an adjective. Both the present participle and the past participle we can use as an adjective. Get the example: I read an interesting novel. In this sentence, interesting is present participle and it's qualify or modify the word novel, and in this sentence it is used as a adjective. I saw a weeping woman. Which type of woman? Weeping. So we use weeping as an adjective, and this is present participle. The past participle is used as to form perfect tenses, as I have seen your report. To form passive voice, the bicycle was stolen by the thief. Or to qualify a noun, a retired officer is available. Of past participle in passive voice, your plan is being accepted. To form perfect tenses, we have played well. As adjective, he is a spoiled child. Which type of child? Spoiled. Spoiled is used as adjective in combining sentences. As they came in, they were accompanied by their teacher. In the last, we can say that we have three form of non-finite verbs: infinitive, gerund, and participle. We make infinitive by adding to before the first form of verb, and we make gerund by adding ing. Infinitive and gerund both work as noun. Third is participle. We divide participle into three parts: present, past, and perfect. Present participle, we make ing in the first form of verb, and past participle is the third form of verb, and perfect participle having plus third form of the